I don't know what I'm doing.
It's just right there.
Hello, everyone. We are live. Happy Saturday. Hope you're all having a good time. I'm Laura. He's Troy. We're Baker Drinks.
Baker Drinks.
I see we've got some chat going on. Who do we got here? Oh boy, scrolling way up.
You guys are always so active in there.
Whiskey Wisdom was first today. Looks like he's drinking some water. Major Zero, Chris Jenkins, Keith Smith, West Coast Whiskey Tubers. I don't think, is he not a fan? What's a Z's for?
Maybe he was saying there's not much going on today.
Oh, okay. Dave Vogel saying, hello, everybody. What else we got? There's so much chat. Scrolling. Still scrolling. You guys had a lot of chat before we started here.
You see Sean from Echoes is here.
Yep, he's ready, it looks like. And still scrolling. Okay, Mark Gale. He's probably going to be watching some football here pretty soon. Or wait, what time did your team's game start? Was it a late one or was it one?
USC.
Well, his friend's USC.
Okay. I think there's
one of the Arizona schools. I don't remember which one. Gandy Road, Jeff Castle, Bourbon Baller Lee.
Cheers.
James Morgan. Well, hello, Michael Bordner. We got lots of people here. And I'm excited. Our team did great today.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of pre-gaming before the live stream.
A lot of pre-gaming. We do a shot with every score.
Not like a full shot, but like a mixed shot, like a cocktail shot.
We did the soju bombs today.
I guess that's kind of like a full shot.
That's a full shot in beer.
Yeah. So what do we got going on?
So we'll start off by shouting out some patrons. Chris Jenkins was our first patron. I think he's starting up a new channel called Below Average Bourbon. You guys should go check him out. Throw him a sub. He's a great guy. He supports a lot of Whiskey Tube.
A lot of them. I see him in everyone's chat.
Everybody's chat, yeah. The Bourbon Note. If you're not subscribed to them, go do that. Mark Gale, who's in our chat, he's one of our patrons. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks a lot. Northwest Bourbon. Mark over there does great things. He highlights veteran-owned and Pacific Northwest distilleries. Go check him out, Northwest Bourbon. And Dave Vogelsang, he was our guest of honor last week, and he's one of our patrons now, and we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you to everyone. So we've got Mark Gale says he's ASU. So I knew it was in Arizona. I just couldn't remember which one. So he's late also. It should be starting in about 30 minutes or so. James Morgan, not far off the 1,000. Yes, today, I don't know what happened today, but something worked for us. And we got like 70 subscribers today. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining, of course.
Yeah, if only we could figure out what happened so we could repeat it, we'd be as big as the Bourbon Junkies. But
exactly,
we're pretty happy with what happened today. We're really happy, actually. So one of the things that we've talked about in the past on here is supporting other channels. As you can tell, we called out our patrons, and especially the ones that have channels themselves, and asked you to subscribe to them. We like to pick about 5 channels every week that we'll seek out, we'll find them, we'll support them, we'll watch them, and we're gonna ask you guys to do the same. So the 5 that we personally have been watching this week, Major Zero. You guys have all seen him in our chat. You've seen him on our Hangouts. You've seen him on Whiskey Wisdom. He's everywhere these days. Adam's a great guy. He mainly focuses on the hunts and the shorts. Show him some love. Send him a subscriber. Another guy that's always in the chats, RJ the Fed. He's brand new, but up and comer. He's got some good content there. He does some reviews and some shorts as well. Whiskey Bank, David. He's a West Coast guy. He does some great reviews, very insightful. One of my favorite guys to watch lately. So find Whiskey Bank and throw him a sub if you can. Justin over at Whiskey Tiers, Tiers. He does bourbon hunts, and then he reviews and ranks and tiers the whiskeys. It's kind of a cool thing he does. Show him some love. And then finally, another Pacific Northwest channel, Tolly at the Samoan Barkeep.
And I see him in chat, so he's here.
Yeah,
So,
he's always here supporting us.
He's saying cheers. Cheers back to you.
Yeah, so if you guys are not subscribed to Samoan Barkeep, he's doing great things as well. Hunts, reviews, he's in everybody's chats. Show him some love and give him a sub.
Sugar Kitty says he's multitasking. He's probably on like other people's live streams. Who knows what all he's doing.
Fact checking, Wikipedia.
Exactly.
So Laura mentioned we're on our push to 1K. Great day today. I think after today, it makes it all a lot more real, you know.
It's really close to our big celebration live stream. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're looking forward to it as well, because we're gonna have some great giveaways, and we'll probably try to have a bunch of other channels and guests on that helped us get here. So we appreciate you guys. It's coming soon, maybe hopefully within the next month.
Whenever it happens, it happens.
Yeah. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, we will be on with Stacy at 4 Leaf Whiskey. If you're not a subscriber to Stacy, go ahead and check her out. She is Whiskey Tube's Irish expert, and we happen to find some Irish whiskey she's never tried before.
Yeah, so she's going to try them with us tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. So you can watch it.
Yeah,
with us.
3 p.m. Pacific. We'll have a thumbnail up for that tomorrow. Stacy's got the thumbnail up on her channel already.
Yeah, we'll just have a post as a reminder.
Yeah.
I guess.
So down to it. Why are we here tonight? So we are going to drink through some ASW whiskey. ASW is the Southern Pot Still Pioneers. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia. They claim to be the most awarded craft whiskey distillery since 2018, with 6 double golds, 11 medals, and a 2020 Craft Whiskey of the Year with I can't read my writing. Something Otter single malt.
Were you already drinking when you wrote your notes?
I was drinking. It was during the game.
See, it works out because I don't have to take notes. He just does all that kind of stuff, and I'm here to drink the whiskey.
Yeah, so we're going to bring back Sean from Echoes in Eternity. He's the one who gifted us the samples today. He is for the purposes of this stream tonight, he is the ASW expert.
Since he's had their stuff, and we have had their Amberana finish only.
Yeah, we've
That's the
only
thing
had the
we've
Fiddler.
So we've got 5 different ones to try today. I see Whiskey Bank is here. I hope you heard us call you out because we're trying to support you as well. Oh, come on, internet. Okay, so I pinned. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay.
Technology.
Oh gosh. Oh, I have to do it on my phone. Never mind.
Okay. Anyways,
Keep talking.
So while we're tasting through these, Sean's going to be available to kind of talk and keep things going. So you're not just watching us drink. We will also be asking Sean some questions again. I have different questions this time from 2 weeks ago, and kind of do a little informal interview. And looks like he's backstage, and we'll bring him out.
Hopefully this time our stuff is working, since last time, we had some issues. I heard some noise. He's got his jersey on, ready for the game.
Ready for the game tonight.
Yeah, that's probably hard for you guys being on the East Coast, having a game that starts at 10:30 your time. I thought it was bad for us.
How are you guys doing today?
We're great.
We're doing great. We had a win today, and we've had plenty of drinks already.
There you go.
And we're excited for these.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all good.
I have heard some great things about ASW. I've been excited about this since we got these samples.
Well, good. I think you'll do. And you guys mentioned Whiskey Bank earlier, David. We had talked a couple of weeks ago about doing a blind that Matt at Whiskey Wisdom, you guys will be a part of. David from Whiskey Bank is going to be a part of that as well.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
It's Victor's birthday today.
Yep.
Oh,
So
Cheers,
happy
Victor.
birthday,
Happy
Victor.
birthday.
Thanks for celebrating with us tonight.
So, Sean, is there a specific order you recommend we drink these in?
Refresh me now. Which ones I sent you? That's the tough part. I've got a
Yeah, it's
lot.
been a while.
Okay. So we've got the Resurgence Rye Barrel Proof.
Okay.
We've got the Fiddler Georgia Heartwood,
Okay.
the Fiddler Soloist,
Okay.
the Resurgence Port Finish,
Okay.
and the Duality Double Malt.
I would start with the port finish or double malt first, just because they're the more unusual of the ones. The last three, you're getting right into the heart of the good stuff that they do. The first two, you're either going to really, really like them, or you're going to go, what the hell was that?
Okay, so what's our order, Troy?
So we are going to go with the Duality Double Malt first.
Okay.
Which is 111.2 proof, and we're huge malt fans, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
We'll do the Resurgence Port Finish second, which is 106.2. We'll do the Fiddler Soloist third, which is 100. Then the Fiddler Georgia Heartwood at 116.8. And the Resurgence Rye Barrel Proof at 122.8.
Perfect.
Well, I don't type as quick as you talk, so I think I got it.
Okay, so Laura's going to put a rolling banner across the bottom so everyone can know what we're
Which was last?
drinking.
The
Resurgence Rye Barrel Proof.
And before that was the Heartwood?
Fiddler Georgia Heartwood.
Okay.
So I'll start pouring these. Sean, I'm going to ask you the first question and let you start talking while we're pouring. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your background?
Yeah. So my name's Sean Ruckman. I've been doing this since January this year. As you pointed out last time, I apparently do a lot of videos. So I've got like 400 videos, but it's a lot of fun. It was a learning thing for me. My education, even though I work in a different environment and field right now, my education was through criminal justice. But my field that I work in was as actually refrigeration and engineering for a company here locally. So I do that. Been with the same company for about 23 and a half years. Like to write, love lore, love true crime, and I may kind of spin some of my drinking into that eventually. So we'll see how that goes.
Ooh,
so that should be.
That sounds interesting.
I've actually got two names. I've taught with Matt. I don't think I've talked with you guys about it, but I've got one. It's going to be Lore and Libations, and the other is going to be Casks and Caskets.
Okay.
I like the second one. I think that's very catchy. People know what they're getting with that.
There you go.
All
So
right.
I've been looking at some of the local area stuff for some of the lore. I've been looking at some stuff around here, and there's a lot of different cases that I followed over the years. Part of my criminal justice stuff is we had a great professor. We got to work with the GBI and the FBI, so we had a lot of fun with that and a lot of cool cases and stuff. So I think that'd be fun as well.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Now I'll tell you the one that you got, the Resurgence Port Cask Finish. I think there's only like 400 bottles in existence, period. Mine was one that picked, him and his team helped pick that, and I was able to get 2 of those bottles.
Wow.
Okay, awesome.
So I should not spill my sample.
So
I almost did.
Fill it.
With a yield that small, was it like 2 barrels that they did, or?
Yeah, they had a couple of barrels is all they got.
Okay. Well, I'm honored that you shared one of those with us.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I wrote it correctly. The first one we're doing is the Duality Double Malt, correct?
Yes. Although
Yeah, that smells like it's got some malt in it.
the port finish smells kind of malty.
And what's kind of neat about the Resurgence rye is they malt all their rye prior to turning it into a rye. So that's where you get some of that from.
Gotcha. Okay. So another softball I'm going to pitch to you here. What inspired you to pursue your channel?
It was something that I wanted to challenge myself for, to try something a little more difficult in the future. This is something that I felt very comfortable with. I wanted to get used to having the camera, talking to a camera, because as you guys know, it's not natural to do. And
Yes.
myself on camera and communicating with people and building a group, and then maybe moving into something else in the future. But this is
Gotcha.
still going to be my backbone.
Dave asked if there was anything over 130 proof, and out of this flight, the highest is 122.8.
Yeah,
so
nothing that high.
nothing 130 proof.
If you see me keep looking like this, I got a whiteboard over here with notes on it. So,
Dave, I'm saving that for the blind. And the theme of the blind is going to be basically, I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this, but the theme of the blind is basically going to be above expectations or fail, basically.
That's a new name I haven't seen either. Scott Stutzman. I don't think I've seen that.
Scott's awesome. He's on the channel. He's on my stuff all the time. He's great. He's got great feedback on things, and he'll be like, "I'm not going to pay that much for that bottle, but I'm glad you did." So,
perfect.
Gotcha.
Well, this first one, I feel like there's a lot of tobacco kind
Yeah.
of notes on
So
it. I like it. It's really good.
yeah. So as I mentioned, we're big malt fans, and this is like hitting right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's good. I loaded up the water today.
There you go. I figured you guys would like the single malt stuff. I know that you guys like some scotches and some single malt stuff, so I figured it'd be kind of in your wheelhouse. And ASW, I don't know if you've gone into the history of it a little bit, but it started with two guys that went to the University of Georgia. They wanted to do something neat with a rye whiskey, and then eventually they decided to open a distillery, and then hired another guy that was from University of Georgia. So this is all like University of Georgia themed. But they have a lot of neat things, even with their Resurgence rye. The Resurgence is kind of like the theme for Atlanta after it rebuilt itself. It was the Resurgence, and that was where they got their name from. A lot of their stuff is based on the city or the surrounding area.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got their website pulled up on my phone here. Nice. So next we're drinking the Resurgence Port Finish Rye. So it does say that it's a malted rye, and they use a copper pot for distilling.
Yeah, they use the whole grain too when they do it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see how it tastes.
Yeah. So, Sean, what advice would you give to someone starting a new channel?
Don't spend too much time thinking. Just get started. As you can tell by how many videos I've done, it was just about getting started, getting comfortable with it, learning what works well, what doesn't work well, what technology needs to improve. Can they hear you? Can they see you? Are you enunciating words? Things like that. So just get in front of it and keep going, and ask for feedback. The people in YouTube are awesome. They'll tell you, hey, your lighting's not very good, or your sound's not very good. Look down and look at the prices, or this, that, and the other. You're jittering your camera. They'll tell you what on their end, what they're seeing that's not good quality. So, and they'll help you improve. And that's the one thing I really like about it is that don't be afraid to get started. Don't think too hard. I tell Matt all the time, I don't think. I just get on.
Turn the camera on.
I turn the camera on, and whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. And I usually don't edit much. And I'm like, I cut out the front where I'm sitting down and the rear where I'm getting up, and you get everything in between.
Well, that works.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
This port finished Resurgence rye, I get a lot of chocolate on it.
Yeah, and
yep.
But there's something kind of tart. I'm guessing that's the port.
The port in there.
It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah. So like,
I don't hate it. I don't know how to describe it. It's
a dark chocolate covered raisin.
Maybe something. I feel like it's a tartar fruit than that tart.
A dried
more
cherry.
Tart. Sure. Cranberry. We'll make up something.
We're gonna keep going tartar. Or more tart.
I don't know.
Tartar or tart. I don't know.
It's interesting. It's definitely not like anything I've tasted before, I don't think.
Yeah. So I'm digging both of these first two so far. They're really good.
There's a lot
I'm
of chocolate
struck.
on the end of that.
And as you know from the past, I kind of rank these as I drink through them, and I'm struggling to find out which of those two I like better right now. So
Okay. And they're different profiles. They're a lot different profiles.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they're just equally good. Okay, so how do you stay motivated and productive?
I've never had a problem. That's the thing. Is certain people have to find something to motivate them. It becomes ingrained in who I am, and I have this bad habit. When I get into something, I get into it full bore, and it just becomes part of what I do every day. And I'm thinking, what can I do different, or what can I do that's better? And I don't want to, and I'm sure you guys have the same thing. You don't want to pigeonhole your hole with just doing one thing, pigeonhole yourself with just one thing. You want to be able to review, you want to be able to talk to people, you want to be able to hunt, but then you maybe want to bring something different to it too. So there's always something new that keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah. So Victor said there's a lot of mechanics in the chat tonight. So that reminded me that I hadn't looked at it to see if anyone else needed a wrench. So now there's some more wrenches, lots of mechanics in the chat.
There you go.
Someone can take care of that because it's a lot to handle when it's just moving. It's hard to read everything.
Yeah.
But I'm trying.
We're also going to put the Discord invite in there, are we not?
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about that?
We did. Man, now I gotta find my link.
So this whole like Patreon concept is just brand new to us. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. And one of the things that we were going to give our patrons was this Discord chat, but with only 5 patrons, the chat is not very lively.
You need a little more people than that.
And we see how, like an hour before our live stream, people are in our chat chatting. There's definitely a need in the whiskey community for people to gather and chat with each other and whatnot. So we're going to just open up the Discord to everybody.
Awesome.
And hopefully it'll get a little more lively and people can start hanging out in there as well.
Okay, so I put it in there. Oh, there I see another name that is not blue. I can't have one name not blue. So there you go, James Morgan. You get to be blue now as well.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before we brought you on, Sean, we had a pretty solid day today with subscribers. I think we're like right around 70. So if any of those new subscribers are in the chat today, welcome and thank you.
That is phenomenal. That's awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hit 1,000.
It like I said before, it's a lot more real now.
Yeah.
We're hopefully just a couple weeks away, but it could take forever. It may never happen, but fingers are crossed.
Once you start getting to this point, the momentum is going to build and you'll get to 1,000 here really quick. That's something that Adam from Major Zero told me. He says, look, once you start getting to this point, it'll start snowballing pretty fast. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And we've talked in the past too. We watch the subscriber count pretty close. It's just exciting for us to see those numbers grow. And we'll fist bump every time we get a new subscriber. Our knuckles hurt today.
Was ridiculous. Actually, my knuckles are bruised. I accidentally hit the wall earlier while I was carrying something, and I punched the wall while I was walking. So it didn't make for good fist bumps at all. But we had my parents over for the football game, and they were just laughing at us because one of us would check to see how our channel was doing, and we'd be constantly fist bumping. So then they had to start fist bumping with us. It was kind of funny.
I feel like every 5 minutes it jumped like 4 subscribers there for a while. It was crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Okay, Sean, next question. How do you decide what to film next? I'm on this one.
Whatever I wake up and think about that morning, I know that you're a schedule person. I'm not a schedule person. If I wake up and I'm like, I want to do a rye today. What rye haven't I done? Or I'm going to go to the store today. Let's make a video. Or this is something I saw cool. So it's just what I do something every day, but it's really fresh. I have themes of things, like I'm doing Nevada whiskeys right now, but I may do one and then come back 3 or 4 days and do another. I don't do them consecutively a lot of times, but it's just whatever I'm feeling that day. That's what keeps it fun for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, makes sense. That's kind of what I was doing, but then when I didn't feel like filming, it made it more difficult because I was like, I don't know. But now that he schedules it, I don't really have to think at all. I just get to have fun on camera, so it's a whole lot better for me. So yeah,
I'm a little OCD when it comes to planning and scheduling.
You kind of need that balance in a relationship. My wife is the OCD one. She's the one that packs the luggage 3 weeks before we go, and I'm looking for stuff. So it's like,
thank you, Mark Gill.
Hey, there you go, Mark. Mark's an awesome guy. I like Mark a lot too. But that's the one thing I love about the community is they're such nice people, and when they start chatting and you see them in different groups, they're building their relationships with people and stuff, and they're expanding their tribe is what I like to call it a lot of times. So their whiskey tribe is expanding a lot.
Yeah, Chris also did another 5 memberships for us. So thank you, Chris.
Chris, you're a legend.
It doesn't show up on our computer, but it does on my phone. And thank you. We got Independent Joe in the house too.
Cheers, Joe.
Just scrolling. Lots of cheers. Lots of happy people today. Are the bourbons like high malt too? Because the Soloist, is that a bourbon?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is the Soloist a bourbon? Okay.
It is. It is.
I'm going to have to find a bottle of this Georgia Heartwood.
I haven't got to that one yet. That's the one that I hear them. He's like trying to like speed through them because he knows I'm usually the first one.
I'm usually talking and she's done. So
it must mean that like, you never gave us your thoughts then on the Soloist. You got to go back to the Soloist. Give us some thoughts on Soloist.
So Soloist for me, it was good. I think I like the double malt and the port finished a little better.
Okay, and that's fair.
And it may have been proof or mouthfeel, which is related to proof.
Yep.
But for me, it's a great bourbon or whatever it is. I don't think we know. Okay, it's a great bourbon, but I like the maltiness of those other two just a little bit more.
I got you.
And then
I see what you're talking about.
The Georgia Heartwood is like up here.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
No,
it is.
That
superior.
is fantastic. No wonder everyone talks about that one. I just figured it was the easiest one to find, and that's why everyone talked about it. But that's fantastic.
That one is very hard to find in our area. You know, even though it ASW American Spirit Whiskey comes out of Atlanta, there's so much population in Atlanta it barely gets out. And I'm right next to Columbus, Georgia, which is the second biggest city in Georgia. We've got some great liquor stores. We can't get it. The one we're trying right now, the Heartwood, is the one that I actually went up to ASW and got. So it's hard to find. So it's very, very hard to find, but it is phenomenal.
So do you know why it's called that? Is there like finished in something?
They make the barrels specifically out of the heart of the tree or something.
Yeah, there's something that they do with the tree. It's a Georgia oak. I think that's or the staves they use are Georgia oak, so they call it the Heartwood.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really good.
Well, Michael Bortner's seal box for the Heartwood.
Oh, there we go.
The
Sealbox is a very interesting website because sometimes they ship to places and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they'll accept you sending them a UPS label, and sometimes they won't. So you just kind of never know what you get with that website. I don't know if it's like regulations or why it always
I'm sure
changes.
It is, yeah.
But I've heard it's not just our state; it's other states as well. That it's like a flip of the coin if they're going to ship to you or not. So I don't know, but we'll have to check it out because that one's really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So Sean, were you watching Whiskey Wisdom last night when he had Clifton from Bourbon Bites on there?
Yeah, I've only stayed on for about 30 or 40 minutes, but Clifton had come on, and I was enjoying where he was going and how he got started, how he's kind of like a childhood YouTube guy, and then he went into a store and was like, hey, what's good? You know, started searching things. Yeah.
Yeah. So he made a pretty interesting comment last night that you kind of touched on something similar a few minutes back, where he was experiencing our I guess bubble of Whiskey Tube for the first time, and seeing the different names in the chat and not recognizing any of them, except some of his people that had come over because he was on. And we were all like, we've never seen these people before. So it's interesting how all of our channels interact with each other, and we get like this group of fans or followers or subscribers, whatever you want to call them. And then there are completely separate channels out there that have their own version of that as well.
Yeah.
So like what Whiskey Wisdom is doing and what we're trying to do by getting other channels on here is exposing, each other's audiences to new content and new ideas. And hopefully it benefits everybody, and we all just continue to grow and put out content that everybody can enjoy.
I think that's the best approach to take, because there's things out there that people are going to do that's so much better than me, but it'll give people that follow or watch what I do or like what I do opportunities to see cool stuff that I won't do, and I love that.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to this next one. Next question for you. And I'm sure you've had a few negative comments. How do you handle those negative comments when you get them?
This is going to sound ridiculous, but it works. So anytime I get a super negative comment, I put it in my best grandmother or grandfather voice in my head, and I'll go, "So your lighting really, really sucked today. What are you gonna do about that?" And I'm like, okay, they're just trying to be really constructive. And I'm like, you're right. It wasn't good. I'll work on that. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
I would say most of our comments like that, that's kind of how we've taken it, and we've actually tried to make them better. Like our hunt videos, there's always comments on that, like, you didn't go slow enough, you didn't show the prices, your camera was shaking, or
show
whatever.
The bottom shelf some love.
Yeah. And so I think we've got it pretty dialed because we've stopped getting those comments. So I guess I appreciate the feedback because now people are liking it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Laura.
Oh no, I finished. You go ahead.
The thing that I ever did for Bourbon Hunt is when I got it, I slowed it down to 2/3 speed. So they were getting nice slow feeds across there. I'm like, because I know
that's kind of what we do too.
Speed, they're like, nah, it's too fast. So I'm like 2/3 speed. But make sure you cut out your sound, because it sounds really bad when you're
Yeah, I usually will slow it down to 3/4 speed.
Okay.
Completely mute the audio and then add some music in. So I'm not to the point where I want to do voiceovers yet. Maybe someday. People don't ask me for that. So, unless that happens, I'll probably just keep music.
Probably will.
It's like, there's that option. Troy.
I like this. William Hall said, cross-pollination is key, and a lot of whiskey tubers should and do jump on other channels. Key way to find subs. And it's just fun meeting a lot of new people, and I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, we're kind of relaxing and we're in our sweats and look like a total mess, and it's like, do we want to hop on? Okay. Let's change my shirt. Let's get on.
Yeah.
and I never regret it when I hop on, but it's the convincing myself to get up and set the camera up and get on. That's the hard part.
But you learn a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff about Northwest whiskey, by watching you guys on stuff. I've never heard of that before. So that's the fun part is, I've got some samples that I'm going to crack from some stuff that from the Northwest, and I'm like, I can't wait to try it and to tell you guys what I think about it too. So it's neat that we get to have these experiences, even though we're still in the United States, it doesn't mean that all the stuff's available everywhere.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. And that's I think why people like the hunt videos, because it's one of those different things everywhere.
That trips me out the most watching other people's hunts is Victor. I actually hate how my voice sounds on the camera, so I'll probably get Laura to do voiceovers.
This one is even more chocolatey, I feel like. Resurgence
It's
rye barrel proof.
Frank. Oh, that's so good though.
it's buttery and it smells like it's sherry cask. Is it finished at all?
It is not finished at all. That
Okay.
rye is
It
not.
doesn't taste finished, but it definitely, I can get it on the nose where it smells really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that malted rye that it's just something different. So, like you said, they've got the pot still, and they've got the full grain in there too, which is a little bit different. So it just makes a different experience on there.
Brian says that you need to incorporate that voice impressions in your future videos. Ooh, that was hard to say, but
Have like a little picture of a grandma rocking in a chair.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Love you, brother.
Okay, so Sean, have you seen any interesting trends or developments in the whiskey world?
The one thing that I've really kind of seen is that it seems to be, and I don't know if you guys watch secondary stuff much, the secondary market is slowing down a bit. And I'm sure that has to do some with the economy. I'm sure it has to do some with people are getting ready for the new release stuff to come out. But I've also noticed that I found a lot of different bourbons this year that weren't the big name bourbons that I've just absolutely fell in love with more over any other year. So I think that a lot of these smaller distilleries are doing a phenomenal job, and some of the older distilleries have really upped their game. I know that Laura is a huge Jack Daniels person, and I think Jack Daniels has raised their game as high as anybody else this year. I just love stuff that they've done this year, but a lot of the smaller stuff too. So I think that we're getting better whiskeys now, and I think the pricing is starting to come down a little bit. I hope this is a little bit of a trend, or at least not hunting as hard, so people can all have that same opportunity.
Yeah, we haven't necessarily seen it in Washington yet. I'm sure our state likes to rack in that money. So hopefully they will catch on to what the rest of the country's doing. But yeah, I think online the prices have come down on secondary, but not so much in our area. Actually, even on our hunt today at a Total Wine, people were saying that our prices are higher than in their states. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like Washington's prices kind of lagged behind the secondary, and then they finally caught up to secondary. Now secondary is starting to come down a little. Washington's still staying a little high.
Okay.
We got Northwest Bourbon here.
Cheers, Mark.
Hey, Mark. And he loves Jack Daniels as well. They just have so many good bottles. Every time I think, okay, I've got all the Jack Daniels, I don't need any more, they come out with more, like 2 more bottles at a time.
They've been ridiculous over the past couple of months with the stuff they've put out.
Yeah.
No, they've done a great job.
3 ryes in the past couple months. Crazy.
Their ryes are fantastic. And I think Samoan, I just saw, got a twice barreled. And I'll tell you, when I first had my first pour of that, I didn't like it. But it has opened up so nice. So if you don't like it at first, let it set for a little bit, because it changed. It was one of those that changed my mind on the challenge you guys gave me.
Yeah, that twice barreled, it'll be coming out as part of our Monday review, I believe, along with the bonded rye. And
I haven't looked at the schedule. I just helped them film. I don't know. It's coming out. We filmed it. I know that much. It
smells and tastes like nothing I've ever had in the whiskey world.
Okay.
In a good way.
Taxifornia. You say that, Mark Gale, but the taxes on alcohol here are way higher than California. We go to California to get cheap alcohol.
So I'm heading back the other way on here. I'm gonna shoot Sean a question real quick. How do you stay updated and informed about new developments in the whiskey world?
All of you guys. I watch a lot of whiskey tubers. I really do. And there's some local places that I keep close tabs on just because I think they do a good job. 13th Colony, ASW. I have contacts that I'll email and ask questions to. And it's not like super insider stuff, but I just want to know their pulse, what's going on. And I talk to people that visit them a lot. But I have to watch all you guys to keep up with everything else. I can keep up my little pond, but I can't keep up with that big old ocean out there.
Yeah. And that's the same with me. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I talk to you guys. Dave Vogelsang is always telling me what he's finding, and some of it I've never even heard of before. So the whiskey community kind of keeps everybody up to date, I feel.
Absolutely.
So
Dave's a mean hunter. I tell you what,
oh my goodness.
He had to get a hotel room with a second bed just to put all his whiskey.
I don't know if it's inside information or not, but he did reach out to us after last week's live and said his wife's going to let him have a third shelf.
Wow.
Yeah. She's convinced he needs more room. He's got too many good bottles. Michael Bortner said he made offers lower than their asking price. They took the offer. He got a Weller full proof for $150. They had it priced at $320. So it's definitely better than any haggling that we have done. I'm more just like, I don't like talking to people, so I don't do a lot of haggling. I leave that up to him, and I'd stay out in the car while he's doing that, because my face is just going to be like, okay, let's buy it,
Yep. So our first BTAC 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was a Thomas H. Handy.
Okay.
They had it listed in the store for $800, and it sat there for probably a good 6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the guy one day, and he's like, well, let me see what I can do on it. He offered it to me for $300, and I was pretty comfortable with that, not ever having a BTAC before, so I bought it. I don't regret it. It was a great bottle, and we still got about 3/4 of it left 2 years later, so it's kind of a special occasion pour. But I feel like
break my heart.
I feel like if you're going to splurge for something like that, it's okay for a special occasion pour to do it one time. I wouldn't recommend spending that much every time you buy a bottle.
Agreed.
But yeah.
Okay, so I gotta know, is that real, or are you just trying to mess with Sean?
He's trying to.
I can't decide. You had me fooled, but I maybe just not quite fooled. I couldn't decide.
I'm calling BS on that one.
It's too early in the game for that, right?
What the heck is that all about? No, but the special bottles, I think that you have to judge. You have to use good judgment on those. Realize this is maybe a once in a lifetime type of thing that you want to do. Pay your bills, take care of other things, but you say, hey, this is something I really want. I've worked hard for it, but I'm not going to break the bank every time. If I tell people all the time, find lotteries, find point systems, find someone that you have a good working relationship with, and you're going in there and they're getting your business so they can get you those bottles, once every few years at a good price.
Yeah, for sure. So going back the other way so far, this Resurgence barrel proof rye reminds me a lot of the Balcones single barrel single malt that we have.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the rye, and
No.
It does not taste like the rye, but I could see the single malt because there's a lot of chocolate.
It's a lot of chocolate, and I swear I get that sherry note, even though it's not finished in sherry. But it just has a lot of that vibe, and I'm guessing it's the heat. Georgia's pretty hot.
Yeah, Georgia, the climate here is really, really neat. They average, I want to say, about a 20-degree drop on average per day. So you get a lot of circulation in and out of the barrels. So even younger stuff is going to taste more mature because it's penetrated that oak, and it's gone all through there a lot. So that's the one thing that really helps Georgia whiskeys and bourbons a lot.
All right, so where are you at so far on the way back through?
Oh, I didn't go all the way through. I just kind of ranked them.
Oh, okay.
I got my.
She's just doing her own thing.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. We're just drinking. We're just drinking and having a good time. I don't have the itinerary for the night. There was too many words on that page, so I'm just here for the good time.
She was busy taking shots every time the Huskies scored.
Can
you share any upcoming projects or collaborations that you might have in the can?
Well, the one thing that I've talked with Matt, and I'd love to talk with you guys about it too, is I've talked about the upcoming blind. And what I'd like to do is either do it on your channel or Matt's channel, get you guys, Matt, Whiskey Bank, a lot of the people that are in this chat are going to be part of that too. There's going to be 7 people. But I'd love to just have a night where you guys go over it. Just everyone together. That's I love blinds. Blinds are the bias killer. They're one of my favorite things to do, because you're not drinking with your eyes. You're drinking just with your palate, with your nose, with your senses, and you'll be like, wow, I really like this, or wow, this is really crap. And then you may go, I paid that much for this crap. So, that's
Oh no. I get nervous with blinds where I don't know what's in them because I'm afraid I'm gonna like hate on a Jack Daniel's bottle or something.
He's going to sneak in some Wild Turkey 101.
Oh, that's your favorite, right?
Love the stuff.
And you'll be like, oh, this is pretty good.
I promise you this: there is no Jack Daniel's. There's no Jack Daniel's in this one, and there's no Wild Turkey 101.
Okay, there we go.
So you're good there. There's gonna probably be at least 1 or 2 things that not a lot of people will know about, and I just want people's opinions on it. And there's gonna be something like, damn, I'm glad I didn't pay that price for that. And I'm sorry I did.
So William Hall is talking to Northwest Bourbon, says, Mark, I'm seriously upset I missed the Doc Swinson guys. Jesse was traveling for work, but great stream. Cheers. We enjoyed that stream. I want to get more Doc Swinsons. We haven't really tried a whole lot from them. We've had a few bottles. They're pretty good, the ones we've had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's so many bottles. It's hard to keep up on everything. But the live stream was great. He was entertaining.
Yep.
He was a very interesting guy. I'd love to know more about their brand and talk to him. And it was just entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. And again, guys, if you're not subscribed to Mark at Northwest Bourbon, you need to be. His Distiller's Perspective series is awesome. He's got some great master distillers coming on there, spending some time. He interviews them. They field questions from subscribers and fans. They get on with them. It's a good time to watch.
That sounds awesome.
You should check it out. Okay. Sean, can you share any mentors or role models who've influenced you and your channel?
Jim Knudsen. So Jim Knudsen was my boss 2 different times. The first time I didn't like him. The second time I learned a lot about working with people, different roles, different things. He was I was ready to be more receptive to him as a mentor, and he was ready to be a better mentor for me the second time around. He's also a writer for Bourbon and Banter. So he writes for Bourbon and Banter. That's another group that I'm a part of. Very well versed in bourbon. Him and I will get together this upcoming Friday for lunch. He's been retired for a couple of years now, but we still get together and do stuff. But he was one of the people that I could always lean on for stuff. And that's someone that, he's the one that really got me into this journey. I don't know if my wife wants to thank him for that or not, but
Well, that sounds great. I wish that I had someone I worked with that could be a mentor for that kind of stuff. Actually, no one I work with knows that I do this kind of thing because I work in an operating room, and I don't need a reason for people to joke with me and make fun of me about something. So nobody knows that I do this at work. And Troy's like, there's lots of subscribers. I guarantee people would subscribe. And I'm like, yeah, but then they'd also pick on me at the same time. I don't want that.
I would say 2/3 of my office subscribes. So
you really might like it. You might be surprised. I have a doctor that I met at the Auburn Bourbon Drop, and he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he'll turn it on and watch while they're doing surgeries, or at least listen while they're doing surgeries. And then he'll tell me about it later. I don't know about that one, Sean. I'm like, okay, Ray, thanks, bud.
Coming up there. Aiden, thanks for stopping by. That duality that you said you like, I'm right now A-Bing for second, third with that guy. So I like it a lot too. You got a great palate.
I think I have it at third, but it's very good. Yes, I agree. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I talk about whiskey. Everyone at work knows that I have a lot of whiskey, and but they don't know I film stuff. So, but they'll like that we talk about whiskey. Some of the doctors, you know, I ask them what they like, and you know, I'll try to give them suggestions. But most of them like Basil Hayden or something like that. And it's like, okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah. Do you ever have these guys that are like they're like they think they're a whiskey know it, and then they tell you what they like, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I think that Greg at the Bourbon Note has Basil Hayden kind of pegged because, you know, it sells a lot, which is probably why they still keep that line and keep coming out with new expressions of that line. They're kind of like this. It's yuppie whiskey. These people that don't really know a lot about whiskey, but they go into the liquor store and they see this 80 proof bottle sitting there. It's fancy looking. It's got that metal wrap on it, and it's higher priced, and they're like, that's the bottle I want, you know. And then the circle of people that they interact with are probably like, ooh, that's really cool. How's it taste? Oh, it's really good.
It does taste good. And I will give it that.
The Basil Haydens that we've had don't taste bad. They're just way overpriced.
Yeah.
You know, it's a $25, $30 bottle that they're pushing for $50, $60, $70. And, you know, they shouldn't do that. They're tapping into that market though. So 90% of Basil Hayden, I believe, is marketing. And they're marketing to a certain crowd.
And it works for them. If you'll find some people that never market and their stuff just blows up because it's good. Other people have to market it because it's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark Gale told us the Ducks one. See, we
came from behind.
We were kind of watching off and on, just kind of checking in on them, and we would kind of cheer every time they were behind. So whatever Texas school they were playing, I don't remember. That's too bad. I was really hoping the Ducks would lose.
Jesus, the Bloody 81's a big Texas Tech fan. So that sucks. I thought they were going to win that game. But it's hard for me to hate Oregon because Bo Nix is their former Auburn.
It's really easy for me to hate Oregon. It's really easy. All those people driving around with an O on their vehicle, it's just not for me.
Yeah, 15 years ago, you never saw an Oregon fan. Nobody would admit they liked them. They had the ugliest uniforms in college football.
They still do.
They had one of the worst records in college football. And then it might even been a little more than 15 years. But Phil Knight from Nike got involved. Huge influx of money into them. They got cool uniforms. They started recruiting better. And then they started dominating the Pac-12. And everybody's a Ducks fan.
Yeah.
Did they get cool uniforms?
They got flashy uniforms.
I mean, does anyone really like that highlighter uniform?
They look like a bunch of highlighters out there. I thought the Southern thing. We used to just say, it looks like a bunch of highlighters out there.
Exactly. Okay, so let's see. Dave says Makers 46 cast rings, Fox and Odin, Brothers Braun, Filibuster. I don't know what the filibuster is. Do you?
Oh, yeah. So it's a proof and wood, I believe, right? Or the same one that do the senator and the representative and all that.
Well, we like the senator.
Am I wrong there?
I think that now I don't know if they do any of the proof and wood stuff, but I know they're out of Virginia. And I think Dave may have actually had a blind that I sent him that had some filibuster in it. And it's a $50 bottle here. And that was a store pick. And it came in number 2 over a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
So,
Bourbon Baller Lee says the fancy wrap is a trick. Don't fall for the turd polish. Well, here's another one. Michael Bortner.
Bottles too, but there are some good bottles with wax.
Basil Hayden's. It's like the mother-in-law that comes to visit and everything.
Okay, so
Troy, I know you're an Amburana fan.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to make sure you get some of this.
We have
So
it.
we actually
Okay.
have a bottle of that. I got it from Sealbox when the
Okay.
Amburana Crave just first started blowing up,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get like the Starlight cigar.
Did you? Pretty sure it was a gift.
Well, we got it because we couldn't get the Starlight cigar batch or whatever they call it, and there was talk of other brands having Amburana finish. It showed up at the house. I absolutely loved it. Laura absolutely hated it. She thinks it tastes like candle wax.
Yeah.
Or like
a vanilla candle that's like melted into a glass.
Oh.
It's very perfumey and waxy.
I always think of like cinnamon toast.
Dave.
I wish that it tasted like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Everyone always says that, and I'm like, I am not getting this flavor at all. It's just like perfume, waxy.
Have you ever had Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yes, I have. Dave is having or had Baker's 13
Very
in
nice.
honor of us, Bakers.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
would love to
rubbing
have
it
that
in.
bottle.
Yeah.
No, don't we have that bottle?
We got Baker's 7. We don't have the Baker's 13. We have Russell's 13.
Oh, Russell's 13. That's right. There's too many bottles. It's hard to keep track of. And I don't do most of the shopping. So that's another reason I probably don't remember what. Do you have your order?
I don't. So I'm struggling right now between the Resurgence Rye Barrel Proof and the Duality Double Malt. It's the smokiness of that malt is just fascinating me. And the more it sits, the more smoky it smells.
Yeah, like smoky, like a burnt marshmallow on a fire or something. Not like.
So
People get very confused with when you say smoky. Like
Yeah.
a char or like a double oak kind of has that.
What was the
That's-
proof on that Duality? Was it one?
the Duality is 111.2.
Yes. Okay, that's a store pick too.
Okay.
It's really
So
good.
I was watching another channel earlier this week. I don't remember who it was, so I can't really give them credit for it, but they were talking about like if you're sitting at a campfire, the campfire smells different at the start of the fire versus as when it dies down and it's embers.
Okay.
So this kind of smells like that died down campfire. It's embers. It's the end of the night. It's a really good smell, and I like it a lot.
That's a great point though too, because you kind of got that greenwood type of stuff going on as you're first starting, and then you kind of get that more refined type of thing at the end, I guess. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Whiskey Bank, thanks for joining us. Have a good evening. I appreciate you coming on. I hope maybe sometime we can have you join us. We'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely reach out to you.
Dave's awesome guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him on some more stuff.
Okay, we got Stymie Snurdly. Has anyone tried Silver Grove from New Riff? I have not.
I love your picture there, Stymie. Is that Donald Sutherland from Kelly's Heroes?
I don't even know what you just said.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Okay, Sean, so what video are you the most proud of and why?
Ooh, what video? That's a tough one. Probably my 13th and 13th Colony Distillery video. And it's nothing spectacular. It wasn't great lighting. It wasn't me saying magical words. It was just me pushing myself to get comfortable in front of 20 or 30 strangers shooting video, while we're walking through a distillery. It's one thing when I'm at home, or even if I go to a store that I'm comfortable with and I know all the people, but getting out in front of 20 or 30 people and we're doing, a distillery tour, and I'm out with my camera taking videos and talking through things and going off to the side doing stuff. It forces you to stretch yourself, and that's the thing I like. I like to push myself to stretch myself. So that was the one I probably enjoyed the most.
Nice. So, do you have your order?
I definitely have my order.
She's been done for
Sticking with it.
waiting on you.
She's been done forever.
You guys have been talking. I just gotta read the comments and enjoy the whiskey.
So, what do you got in fifth?
This one.
And just so everybody knows, there's no loser here. These are all fantastic whiskeys.
So this is the port finish, I think is what I put as last.
Oh,
Right? Second?
so
Second one we drank?
yeah. So for me, last was the Soloist.
Okay.
And you know, something had to be there, and it was the one that I feel had the least interesting nose and palate, but it was still very good.
I think that's probably fairly accurate on that. Out of those 5, that was probably the one that was just most middle of the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have that one as fourth. So
Okay.
It's not like I was way off.
So for me, fourth, third, and second were very, very, very close. You know, in an hour that might change.
I think I just picked mine and stuck with it, where you were like going back and forth.
I was putting some thought into this. I wasn't just like chugging whiskey.
I did a couple A and B's to decide, and then I went back and I was just like, no, I got this right. This is right.
So fourth for me, and as much as I hate to do this, fourth for me is the Duality Double Malt.
Okay.
I have that as third.
Third for me was the Resurgence Rye Barrel Proof.
That's second for me. So it was really like one off. We were pretty close in our order.
And second was the Resurgence Port Finished.
That's funny. So that's really where the difference is. You have that one at second, I have it at last, and then we have the same one for first.
And for our first place, that Resurgence Rye, or no, the Georgia Heartwood. That Fiddler Georgia Heartwood. That is such a superior bottle.
It is excellent stuff down here. And when you get them, they are definitely sought after and prized and nice to get. That best place to get them is at the distillery or I guess online. But
what's MSRP on that bottle, Sean?
I want to say that I spent, I think, $89, I think, at the distillery when I got it.
Okay.
So I didn't think it was too bad for it.
Yeah, I would pay that all day long and buy a backup.
Yeah, I did.
That's
I actually have a backup now. I was talking with Victor about earlier.
It is something special. That is a great pour, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to be searching the internet now for more. If we need it.
We definitely need that one.
The problem is we're not killing any bottles. There's like no bottles empty right now. We have one that's close to empty, and that's because we did that Blanton's video where we mixed it with all those mixers. That's the only reason that it's down to almost empty, but we'll save it for a live stream. But
it won't take us long. We'll have a few bottles for a bottle kill live stream, maybe in like a month.
I don't know I don't think anything else is even close.
Yeah, we'll make close.
We'll make something close.
We have the ability to do that.
Laura, get your Z-Biotics ready.
She took some
I took
earlier.
some before the football game. So I honestly, I do think it helps me. I hate to say that because, I don't know. I'm still skeptical that it's a real thing, but for some reason it's working for me. So I'm just going to say that it is a real thing.
It worked for me about 2 months back. So I'm like, there might be onto something. So maybe, I don't know. You would know in the medical field. What is it when they have that fake pill that they give you?
Placebo.
The placebo, yes.
Placebo.
Well, it's working. At least the placebo effect is working, because even like last night, I didn't drink very much. We had like maybe 3 ounces total or something, and I woke up with a headache this morning. So I don't know.
It's becoming a crutch.
I'm going to spend a lot more money on Z-Biotics than I am on whiskey. It seems like, because they're expensive. They're ridiculous.
Yeah. So Sean, I've got one more question for you. Right. And while you're talking it over, I'm going to mix these all together and do that Benny Walker special that we've been
He's not in the chat today.
He's probably in his bubble bath with
Yeah.
but we're still gonna do it. I'll remind everybody the Discord invite is in the chat. Feel free to jump on and get involved in that. Like I said, we're trying to make it a lot more lively and have a place where everybody can get together and just talk whiskey outside of these live streams on the weekends.
Or whatever. I don't care what you talk about.
Yeah,
I'll create whatever channel you tell me to create.
Yeah.
And you can talk about it.
So question for you, Sean, is what's next for your channel and where can people find you?
Really, I know I do better on my socials. I've got Echoes in Eternity Bourbon on Instagram, but I really don't post a lot there. Of course, you see me on YouTube at Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. I think the next thing that I am going to probably adventure into is probably going to be the Lore and Libation, and then the Casks and Caskets, just because I'd like to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that'll probably be the next thing you'll see me kind of varying into. And we'll see if people hate it or like it, and then I'll go from there. Maybe I'll just make my own other channel for that. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds interesting enough that I will for sure be checking it out.
So Skyme says, use bad bourbon in a turkey brine at Thanksgiving. That's actually the worst whiskeys that we don't even want to make cocktails with. So usually bad whiskeys go into cocktails, and just by bad, I mean we don't want to drink them neat. And then really bad ones that we don't even want to drink in a cocktail, we use for marinades. They do great on anything you put on the smoker. A little whiskey on there works out. You don't get the bad taste.
Little bit of that really awful whiskey with some Worcestershire sauce, and you just spritz it right on the meat as it smokes.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
good stuff. So the blend smells amazing.
And Tater Dom, it's not cask strength. It's 100 proof.
Correct.
It smells amazing. I think it smells better than it tastes.
Did you taste it already?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It don't taste bad, but I feel like the Georgia Heartwood
malt took over.
I feel like that little 1/8 of an ounce I had left in there, I ruined it because that was really, really good.
That's okay. We still got
and
like 1 ounce
and
left.
Yeah, we only went through half the sample, so we'll be able to enjoy that guy. And when we have some time to sit and drink it in private and just really enjoy it. I think we're going to jump off of here for the night, guys. I heard rumor that Matt over at Whiskey Wisdom was going to do an after hours. If that's true, why don't you guys all jump over there and support him? And I think the last time he did an after hours, they drank for 6 hours.
Boy, I don't know if I have. My liver's going to be in trouble. It'll be in crisis by the time I get through hanging out with him.
I really want to stay and hang out, but we can't do that to Stacy tomorrow. We got to jump on her live stream at 3 to go over some Irish whiskey with her. And I want to be in top form for that. So I'm probably going to finish this pour and then drink some water the rest of the night, maybe a liquid IV, and we'll see you guys all real soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Sean.
Hey,
Yes.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to go watch the Auburn game now. You guys have an amazing night.
Yeah, go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Good night, everyone.